Hi, and welcome to Normal Gossip. I'm Kelsey McKinney, and in each episode of this podcast, we're going to bring you an anonymous morsel of gossip from the real world. Today, I am so excited to have with me a long-distance friend, Caroline O'Donoghue. Caroline is a novelist, a podcaster, and a screenwriter. All Our Hidden Gifts, her fantasy series for young adults, is a New York Times bestseller, and The Rachel Incident is being adapted for television by Universal Studios. Wow, that's cool. Caroline's podcast, Sentimental Garbage, charts internationally and has acquired over 9 million downloads worldwide. Also, I love it. She was born in Cork, Ireland, and she currently lives in London. Caroline, welcome.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. You've no idea. This is fantastic.
Caroline, will you start me off with the classic first question and tell me what your relationship with gossip is?
Wow, many and varied. Like I feel, so and in case it's not clear to your listeners, I am an Irish person, and and like there's this whole thing of like I get to sit on all these amazing literature panels and have people ask me really thoughtful questions about like what is it with the Irish and storytelling, and to that, and the whole like strong oral tradition thing, and like it really hits me that the phrase strong oral tradition is just a sort of a euphemism for talking shit all day, every day. I think about this an awful lot about so Ireland never really had an industrial revolution. so we're going back to the turn of the 19th century.
Perfect. Yeah, let's start at the beginning.
Let me bring you back to the spinning jenny.
Oh my God.
You know, in England and America and like in Germany, all these different countries, there was like this moment where industrial action happened and where like all kind of populations were just became into cities and all that kind of stuff. That never really happened in Ireland. Ireland was always just like your workplace is your back garden. and there's no entertainment of any kind except for you can walk 6 miles in the dark to your friend's house to talk shit.
No.
And that's like it. And like, I think that's where all the music stuff comes from, and that's where all this storytelling thing comes from. It really comes from a sort of a lack of anything else to do. Like the two penny strip show is not coming to Ireland. The Nickelodeon is not coming to Ireland. What comes to Ireland is like going to your friend's house and telling them a story you heard off somebody else who heard it off a cow, you know? And you kind of see that as well with Irish people, where it's like they never let the truth get in the way of a good story either. That tales be getting tall.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry to embarrass you, but your book, The Rachel Incident, was one of my favorite books that I read last year. I loved it. I thought it was so great. And there's a lot of gossip in that book. And I wanted to ask you just like how you think about gossip in fiction, both like creating it and what role it plays in stories.
Oh, that's such a good question. So like The Rachel Incident is it's a book like about gossip in many ways. So like in the opening chapter, this character runs into somebody from her hometown like years and years after she's left, and is kind of reminded of this piece of gossip that existed about her in her hometown that like wasn't true, but she had to live her life as though it were.
Yeah.
But like I definitely think that like that is a frequent thing of like when someone tells you a piece of gossip and then the first thing that you think about is like how much of this can I change and then put into a novel, and I always do feel as well that like you're far more likely to adopt a situation or a character that you know very little about kind of thing, so you can sort of fill in the gaps in your head. There has to be like a gap where intrigue can develop naturally, where you're just like, you know, because if I know my friend and all of her problems and everything about her, then my brain isn't doing that natural thing where it fills in the gap with sort of interesting lies. And so it's just never going to happen.
Did you bring a gossip for me?
I did bring a bit of gossip for you. So, you know, I live in London, which is a place where people are so gossipy, and every single person in London has a story about either the royal family or Matty Healy.
That's extremely funny to me because it's just like, opulence, trash.
What side of the class divide are they on in the kind of London social person? And so, you know, and obviously I can't repeat any of that gossip here because I'll be hung.
Right.
And, but so this is a story that I heard at a wedding, and I loved it so much. So let me see if I can relay it to you here.
Please.
Okay, so I meet this girl at a wedding, and even as when I met her, she seemed like a kind of a recently recovered shy person, you know?
Okay.
like, like
Yes. I know
she's
exactly what you're talking about.
you know what I mean? She's like learned the tricks and things, and like, and she's learned how to do it. But you can tell that like it's not something that comes like super easy to her. And like you could tell with this woman that like she was like, oh, she was like, so when I was a teenager, I was super shy, and I was like, yeah, I can guess. Like, and like I met her, and I was like, immediately I can see that she was. This is again filling in the gaps with interesting lies. I can, I could totally see that she was the kind of girl who probably had like two best friends in school, who she's told everything to, but nobody else in her year group knew she existed. You know, kind of thing.
Yes.
And like. And she's like super studious and just keeps herself to herself and whatever. And in her, I guess what you'd call your senior year, in her last year of school, her family moves.
Oh, you can't move your beautiful shy child like in her final year of school. You're going to make her make new friends? That's not fair.
Well, precisely, Kelsey. They're not going to make her make new friends. What they're going to make her do instead is commute.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Sad. Very sad for our shy girl. Let's just call her Andy.
Poor Andy.
Poor Andy. She used to live right in the middle of the city with all of her friends somewhere in the north of England. And now she lives in like the fucking countryside, right? And like she has to get like a 45-minute long bus every day to go to school.
Woof.
And yeah. So, you know, like she's getting up at 6. She's getting up in the dark to go to school. She's coming home in the dark. Her senior year like sucks. And then one day she is at the bus stop and a car drives up, and it is a boy from her year.
Huh.
And you know how like every single year group has like, you know, your sort of Russian nesting doll of popular kids, and some of them are popular because they're attractive, and some of them are popular because they're attractive and rich, and some of them are popular, and this is the smallest nesting doll in the very middle. They're rich, they're attractive, and they're really fucking nice. You know those people? There's always like two.
Yes.
Let's call him. What's your favorite English name?
Paul?
Paul?
I don't know. I don't know what names are English, Caroline.
I thought you were going to say like Edward or something. I don't know.
What are the kings named? Henry, Harry.
It's Henry. And not only is Henry like beautiful, nice, and rich, he's also like a lord.
This is crazy.
So Teen Lord pulls up in his like Porsche or whatever, and he's like, beep, beep, get in. I know you're you at my school. I might as well drive you in. Like we're from the same place now.
What?
Yeah. So he's like, do you want to lift into school?
I guess this makes sense because lords famously have land.
Yeah.
You can't have land in the middle of the city.
Yeah. Turns out his like huge country pile is like 5 minutes from her place, from her like semi-detached like house in the middle of nowhere. And so they, even though she's the shyest girl in the world, and even though he is hot, rich, and nice, and a lord, they have this relationship their whole senior year where they're just going to school back and forth an hour every day. They're slowly building up their conversation and their connection every day and every evening. And then she goes off and she hangs out with her two friends who she loves. And like, then he goes off with his like big gang. And then at the end of the day, they go hang out again in the car. And that's their thing. And when they're towards the end of the school year, he starts opening up to her about some serious stuff, and among the serious things he opens up to her about is that he is adopted. Okay. He's an adoptive teen lord. And like, yeah, so it's like, he's not like super public about it, but like his family, his parents couldn't have kids.
Okay.
He's very happy, but he tells her, he's like, you know, he's on the verge of turning 18. And he's like, I get to find out, basically, about my stuff, like about my mom and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, and he hasn't told anybody this. He's only told Shy Girl Andy, who he gets the car with every morning.
Oh, my God.
Then he goes to the adoption place, And he gets his birth mother's name.
Okay.
And the name is like the most unbelievable general name you could possibly have. Like,
right.
It's like, it's Sarah Smith. It's you know,
right.
Whatever. Like, insert the most common name you've ever thought of here. And he sort of like takes a stab at trying to find her or whatever, but then he kind of gives up and he feels kind of awkward about it. And he just like, doesn't. And then school ends.
Oh.
And then they don't see each other every day anymore.
No.
And I know, and Shy Girl Andy is like, I miss my friend, and they're texting quite a bit, but they don't have that routine anymore.
Sure.
And by the way, they're millennials, so this is like 2008, 9, I guess.
The internet exists.
It's becoming a thing, and so what Andy does is she gets this common ass fucking name, and she essentially looks for every Sarah Smith in England on Facebook.
Oh my God.
And she just goes through and she just like she's a diligent student who's on summer holidays, who's graduated high school. And she's just like going through, being like, hello, this is a bit of a strange question, but in the late 80s, did you give birth to a son and give him up?
For adoption.
Did you? Because I know him. And anyway, eventually she strikes gold and she finds like the Sarah Smith.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
like
I know.
It's wild that she found her.
It's wild that she found her.
So many hours.
I have no clue. Like, it's nuts to me that this happened. And so
That's wild.
At this point, Shy Girl Andy has a car of her own, and she drives over to his house and she gives him the information, and she like logs into her Facebook on his computer and like, there's your mom. Like, there she is. Like,
oh my God.
I know. And then and so like him and his mom start connecting or whatever, and they set a date to meet or whatever, and then the date comes where they're supposed to meet, and he's supposed to go to her. I'm actually getting chills. I'm like, I'm in a Sheraton in Frankfurt right now, and I'm giving myself goosebumps. And so they set a date where he's going to drive over to his mom's house and meet her for the first time. And then he says to Shy Girl Andy, "Will you drive me?"
Oh,
because he doesn't want to drive alone, and
he doesn't want to go alone.
Doesn't want to go alone, and they're driving, and they're not saying a word. It is totally silent in the car. And then they get to the door, and she waits in the car, and she's like, "Go on, you know, you can go in." And then he walks up to the door, and then he walks back, and he gets back in the car, and he says, "I can't go in without you." And then he just holds out his hand, and they walk up to the mom's house holding hands.
I love this movie.
This is my favorite movie. And Kelsey, they're married and they have a baby. She's the Lord now.
That's so beautiful. You know what? She deserves it.
She deserves it. She did the boot work, you know? She did it. She went through Facebook. She got a husband.
Wow. It's like extremely funny to think about this from the perspective of like all the other rich girls who had a crush on him.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my
and
God.
It's like, why is he driving her? Why is he driving her? Just like fuming when they get engaged. Right. Like,
and like, especially if like no one knew as well, being like, who even is she?
That girl he drove to school? Like,
serious? She doesn't even talk.
Wow. Caroline, thank you for bringing me this story. I love it. It's so beautiful. Okay. My story is less happy. More chaos.
Great.
Do you still want to hear it?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, great. Let's do it. I'm going to call our friend of a friend today. We're going to call her Jane. And Jane has had like a nice, full life. She got married. She worked on the early internet with her husband. She was like a career woman in the 80s, right? Like big shoulder pads, even bigger hair. She and her husband, they had 2 kids. They grew up. The kids got married. They had kids themselves. Her husband died, which was terrible. And it was like very hard. And she hasn't moved on, but she's kept on living. And this whole entire life that she's lived, she lived in one single house.
Okay.
Do you have any experience like living in a place and watching it change around you?
Well, yes, because I've lived in London for 13 years and I was a writer that whole time. It's just like you find some place that's barely affordable to live where you can get okay coffee and then you're priced out within usually about 2.5 years. And that's, yeah. So I have a lot of experience with this. Yes.
That is basically what has happened to Jane, but in slow motion, right?
Okay.
She moved into this house. It stayed the same. It's like a relic to her taste. Meanwhile, the whole neighborhood has turned over. Right? Her friends moved out. All the cute little houses were torn down. More and more of the cars in her neighborhood are like fancy luxury ass cars. But she's also like looking around and she's like, this is crazy. Like my house is now the smallest and cheapest one in the neighborhood. Like everything else is concrete and expensive because it's been rebuilt.
I see. Yes.
And she realized this really concretely because she got a new neighbor.
Okay.
Her new neighbor is named Celeste. Celeste is like in her 40s. She's beloved by everyone in the neighborhood. And Jane knows this because Celeste used to live in a different house in the same neighborhood. She moved into a different house because she and her husband got divorced.
Oh. Okay, so we've got Jane who's a widow and we've got Celeste who's a divorcee. Glamorous bunch.
Exactly.
Okay.
The reason that Celeste and Charles got divorced is that Celeste wanted her house to be at 81 degrees Fahrenheit all the time, which is 27 degrees Celsius.
Thank you so much for that, by the way. Because I would not have guessed what 81 degrees Fahrenheit was at all. I really appreciate the international edit here. 27 degrees Celsius.
27 degrees Celsius.
That's fucking crazy. That's mad.
Hot.
That's hot.
She was like, I'm just cold all the time.
What? Eat some soup, Celeste. That's nuts.
And her husband, Charles, wanted their house to be a normal fucking temperature.
Yeah.
Like, not even cold. He was just like, I want it to be not 27 degrees Celsius in here. Do you believe that this is the real reason why they got divorced?
No, I believe it is endemic to something else in Celeste's personality that is like unfixable, possibly. I feel like, if she's one of these people who, like, in all aspects of their shared life together, Celeste's comfort is the most important thing, then maybe that's what destroyed their relationship.
I love that theory. This is like, It's ridiculous to be like, we got divorced because she wants our house to be super, super hot. But it's like the only thing either of them ever says, right? Like, that is the party line. They're like, we got divorced because of this.
We're so early in the story and this is so nuts.
I know. Okay. So imagine Jane's house, right? Jane's our widow. And then right on the right of her house is Celeste. Okay. And on the left of Jane's house is a woman named Muffy.
Muffy. Right. Sure.
And Muffy and Celeste are best friends.
Okay. All right. I see.
And Jane, our old lady, lives in the middle, just watching Muffy and Celeste like walk back and forth to each other's houses, carrying wine, carrying snacks, gabbing.
Sure.
Yeah. We've already talked about how when you see strangers or people that you only know some details of, you kind of like fill in details that you have made up.
Sure.
What do you think that you might do with this friendship?
Oh, they're in love. Obviously,
that's probably what I would do too. I would be like, she left her husband for Buffy, right? Like,
yeah, and now obviously, like, the temperature thing is like a complete lie, and Celeste is gay, and I'm happy for her.
I love that premise. In Jane's mind, she's like, Celeste and Muffy are the kind of friends who, like, they drink, they watch Below Deck, they talk about how they wish they could have a yacht. They don't know anything about each other. They don't like each other actually.
That's so crazy. Jane's a nutter. I love this.
Jane believes this because she really likes Muffy and she does not like Celeste. Celeste is always wearing like one sweater and then she's wearing like another sweater tied around her shoulders because she's so cold. Celeste is like the kind of woman that's always wearing a lot of those like big bangles. And like has a really sleek bob.
Oh, Okay. So it's giving kind of like a 90s art gallery type of woman.
Totally. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The real reason that Jane doesn't like Celeste, though, is that Celeste will not stop talking about her damn fig.
Excuse me? As in, like, she's got a fig tree or something? Or she's proud of it? Is that what it is?
Great thought. Wrong. It's not the fruit. It's not figs the tree. It is a sculpture, a bronze cast sculpture of a really big fig that is split in half.
This is so great. There's everything. Every detail is more bizarre than the next, Kelsey. What the fuck? This is mad.
I know. Try to picture this fig, right? It's made of bronze. It's split in half. It's very, very large. Like, think like sculpture garden large. Like each half of the fig is like the size of a person. And it's metal and shiny. And this fig/artwork is titled "The Fruit of the Knowledge of Good and Evil."
Oh, okay.
It is a, quote, statement on gender.
Oh.
What is the statement? We don't really know. Do you have any idea what this statement could be?
Hang on. Isn't there something quite specific about the way figs are made that's like quite disgusting, right? Like there's this famous, like, it's like flies, wasps lay eggs and die in there or some shit. Like it's like really gross. It's like you never want to eat anything with figs in it again after you've heard it. Not because it's cruel, but more because it's gross.
You think that is the statement on gender?
I mean, that's the only thing I've ever heard about figs.
They do look like balls because the fig is split in half and it's kind of round.
They look like balls. They're big and gold. They're a statement on gender and they are the knowledge of good and evil.
The real thing is that Celeste, like this fig sculpture, is currently in Charles's backyard.
Charles,
her ex-husband.
The man she's divorced, yes. Because if he's not, doesn't like his house hot enough, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Celeste, like, loved living by the fig. She loved looking at it. She loved when it was, like, reflecting the sun or something. And so she wanted to take it in the divorce. Mm-hmm. But because it was, like, so heavy, like, it's giant and made of metal. So you need, like, a whole group of guys and, like, construction equipment to move it.
Okay.
Like, that might be why she didn't take it. Or maybe she didn't take it because, like, Charles held on to it forever, like, out of spite. Mm-hmm. But the fig is at Charles' house, and she wants the fig to be with her.
Okay. As is her right.
Jane knows all of these things because it's all Celeste ever talks about. And Jane does not care about this.
Is this all kind of feeding into as well the kind of the yuppification of this neighborhood? That these are like yes. Jane is like, I've raised my family here and like these are not my cares and concerns. They're your weird modern art divorce problem. Yes,
exactly. Jane's like, I had real problems when I was younger that weren't, where is my giant fig? Jesus. Why isn't it at my fancy house?
Yeah.
So Jane dislikes her neighbor Celeste because of this fig problem and because she is filled with a whimsy that only rich people can have.
Right.
But she likes Muffy.
Right.
Because she's like, Muffy is kind. She has a really big laugh. And she never, ever, ever talks about figs.
Such an important quality, a neighbor. I know. Okay, I now understand your earlier thing because, like, I do have that thing where there's these two friends, and you think one of them is just a stunner, and you love hanging out with her, and the other one you're like, what? And so then you do invent in your head. You're like, oh, there must be some kind of fairy bargain in place, or like perhaps charitable work going on.
Fairy bargain. Right. You're like, the friend that I like must have been like trapped in a witch's spell in order to be friends with this other woman who I dislike. Jane also likes Muffy because Muffy started dating this like younger hot man. And the younger hot man does all of their yard work with no shirt.
Lovely. Lovely stuff.
He's like sipping from the garden hose, throwing his hair back. He's always like hammering stuff. Who knows what. He like has a push lawnmower. He's out there for hours.
Ugh.
And Jane is like a little bit of a horn dog. So she's like, I appreciate this. Like, thank you for having this hot boyfriend for me. Very kind and thoughtful.
Very nice. Love Muffy.
Yeah. And Muffy reminds Jane of like a younger her. Because Muffy also like wants her house to be really nice, wants her garden to be really nice. And in particular, Muffy has a massive herb garden. of like potted plants
Mm.
that she babies.
Mm-hmm.
She like brings them inside in the winter. She prunes them every day. She waters them constantly. She like never lets her young hot boyfriend touch them because they have to be like perfect.
Okay.
So one day Jane's out. She's on her little morning walk right around the neighborhood. She runs into Muffy. She's like, "What's up, Muffy? Like, what's going on with you?" And Muffy's like, "Oh my God, me and my hot boyfriend are going on vacation to Italy or whatever to be beautiful for 2 weeks."
Mm-hmm.
And Jane in her head is like, "That's so sad that your hot boyfriend is leaving and I won't get to see him." But out loud, she's like, "That's so nice. I'm so happy for you."
Mm.
Jane is also like, "It's August, so it's really hot outside." And she's like concerned because she knows that Muffy loves her herb garden. So she's like, "Oh, do you want me to water it while you're gone?"
Sure. Yeah.
And Muffy is like, "Oh my God, you're so sweet. But no, I already asked Celeste to do it. So you don't need to worry about it at all."
Okay.
Are you worried?
I'm worried. Yeah. She's a feckless woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's going to. I think she's self-involved and she's going to be negligent in her duties.
Jane is like, "Okay, no problem." But then Muffy goes uptown and like, have you ever watched basil when it like doesn't get watered?
Yeah, I buy it very frequently and I watch it wilt almost instantly. If you don't use that whole packet up in the day, it's gone. Yeah, it goes black.
Yes. And if it's like outside, it also like just like starts to droop really badly, right? And the leaves like go yellow and then it's like very gross and sad. And it's summer and it's hot and Jane is watching out her window while Muffy is out of town that within a single 24-hour period, the basil is like wilted over.
Can I just say, this is far too much effort for an incredibly cheap supermarket plant. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. Like, it's just not.
If you're Jane, do you go water the basil?
Oh, this is such a tough one. It's a real Sophie's choice because, like, if she lets it die, then she can this friendship that she despises will be over probably, and then Muffy can be her main friend. However, she loves Muffy and she doesn't want her thing to die. However, Celeste sucks and will definitely take the credit for the living basil.
Yes,
but Jane's too classy to say that was me watering it.
So are you doing it or no? Where did you end up?
Me, myself, I hate the garden. I would watch it die. And I'm also full of spite. And I would just like, now Muffy's my friend.
Jane is also full of spite because Jane is like, you know what? I offered to water it. And Muffy explicitly told me, no, Celeste has got it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she watches out her window as the cilantro withers and the mint burns and the thyme becomes crunchy and the rosemary gets all fried and everything burns.
Christ. It's awful.
You're not intervening at any point in this. You're just going to watch the herb garden turn to dust.
Oh, you know what? I would say to Celeste, listen, the plants are dying. I believe this is your...
You need to go water them.
I believe this is your remit, Celeste.
Yeah. I think that's a really good idea, except that Jane can't talk to Celeste because if she tries to talk to her at all, she just talks about the fig again. So there's like no point.
Yeah, and Jane has really had it up to here with the fig. So
yeah, when I first heard this story, I was like, of course you go water the herb garden. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, I'm so petty. And like, if I don't like the friend that's supposed to water it, like it's just an herb garden.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a cat not being fed or a dog not being walked, that would be totally different.
Right.
But ultimately, I don't give a fuck about herbs.
Jane waits. She does not water the garden. It all dies. At the end of 2 weeks, Muffy comes home and Jane is like pettily like sitting by the window because she is like, Muffy's going to freak. Right? She's like, there's going to be some kind of blow up. They're going to yell. Like, they'll never be friends again. And then Muffy will be my friend.
Delicious.
But instead, Muffy just like sees the herb garden and then goes inside.
Okay.
And then like a few days later, Jane sees the hunky boyfriend out there just like pulling out all the dead herbs.
Oh, hunky boyfriend.
So she's like sad. Jane's like, this is very sad. The herbs are all dead. She's like, but also... Celeste has not gone over to Muffy's house at all since Muffy got back. So she's like, maybe my evil plan is working.
Yes. So perhaps some curt text messages were exchanged.
What do you imagine was exchanged?
Hey, babe. comma, just checking. Just got back from the trip. Noticed that the herb garden didn't seem to get much of a look in this summer.
Ooh.
I thought you were supposed to water it. Did something happen? No X's at the end.
I love that. I imagine that this is what happened. Yes. Jane has no idea. She doesn't know what's happening via text message. And she doesn't really see either of them out the next few days. So she's like, I don't know what's going on. My neighbors are maybe fighting. Hopefully they're never going to be friends again. But like, I don't know. She goes for her walk and she sees Celeste. You hate Celeste, famously, but you want to know what's going on with Muffy. Do you like stop and try to talk to her?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fake as shit. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Like, oh my God, hi. Yeah, like, Muffy's back. Isn't it great? Ain't life grand? How was her trip? I haven't had a chance to catch up with her yet, but you see her all the time.
Damn, smooth.
Yeah, smooth as eggs, buddy.
Jane is like, does not even have time to consider whether she wants to talk to Celeste or not, because the thing is, you don't have free will with Celeste. Celeste is coming to talk to you. That's just like how she is, because she has things to say.
Sure.
All the things she has to say are about the fig.
Girl.
Celeste is like, I've got updates. My ex-husband has gotten engaged to a much younger woman, and this woman does not like the fig. Can you believe that? And Jane is like, yes.
Yes and yes.
This does not stop Celeste. Celeste is like, yeah, you know, he also like demanded that I come get the fig from his house and pay him the original cost of it, and that I only have 2 weeks to do it or he's going to sell it.
Okay, that is harsh.
Jane is like, I don't care. Like, in her heart, she's like, I hate Celeste. I hate this stupid fig. Like, this is not worth my time. She's like, have you talked to Muffy? And Celeste is like, no, but trying to talk more about her fig. And Jane is like, goodbye, Celeste. Like,
goodbye, Celeste. God.
And she goes home.
How are Muffy and Celeste friends? I don't get it at all.
Jane has forgotten all about this conversation. But at the end of 2 weeks, suddenly there is a big truck in front of her house with a bunch of big muscly men. And on the back of the truck is the fig on like a pallet.
Okay. It's a comment on gender. Okay.
Yes. And Jane is like, oh my God, I'm going to have to look at this fig all the time.
Yeah.
Forever.
Her attention was on the wrong thing. She shouldn't have been plotting about the herb garden. She should have been plotting with the husband about destroying the figs.
Exactly. You got to get it into some kind of like metal melter.
Yeah. Smelt the figs. It's the only thing to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Jane is outside. She's watching this man, you know, greeting the construction workers. He's wearing a hard hat. He has a clipboard. He takes the hard hat off and she's like, oh my God, hot boyfriend. And then hot boyfriend is pointing not at Celeste's yard, but at Muffy's.
Oh my fucking God. That's incredible.
Jane is like, this is crazy. She's like, obviously I'm outside. I'm paying attention. I'm eavesdropping. She watches like a forklift, you know, raise the metal fig and start to like drive it toward Muffy's house. And at this point, Celeste comes like running out of her house. And she's like, no. You have the wrong house. My house is over there. And the construction workers are like, you know, they're like looking at their paper. They're like, well, no, like the address we have is that address. We don't have your address. And Celeste is like, no. It's my fig. I picked it out. She's like, you know, rattling off stats like it would be on like a fucking gallery thing where she's like, the artist is this. He was born here this year. These are the dimensions of the fig. Like, this is the year it was created.
These are the dimensions of the fig.
Yeah. The construction workers are like, listen, lady, we don't care about your fig facts. We were hired to drop them off over here. And then they begin to drive the fig into Muffy's backyard. Muffy bought the figs.
Oh my God. You devious bitch, Muffy. I love it!
This creates chaos. Celeste is like on the phone. Jane assumes she's on the phone with Charles, and Celeste is like yelling, right? She's like, you snake, you absolute snake. Like, you know, I only cared about the figs. Meanwhile, the construction workers are like, you know, checking up on a concrete platform. They poured God knows when for the fig to be on. Muffy comes out of the house and Celeste's tone like immediately changes, and she begins to like plead. She's like, Muffy, you know I love these. Like, Charles is the enemy. You cannot collude with him. She's like, pick me, choose me, give fig to me.
Pick me, choose me, give fig to me. Oh my God. Oh my, but this really does prove that like Jane was Muffy's true friend all along, because like this is what Jane would do. Like they're both fueled by spite and nice gardening. Like that's and hot men. That's what they share.
Yes, Muffy is standing with her arms like crossed, and she's like, Celeste, do you remember what I asked you to do when I went on vacation? And Celeste is like, water your herb garden? And Muffy's like, yes, and you didn't do that. And Celeste is like, yes, I did. I went every night, late at night, and I watered them.
No, you didn't, you dumb bitch. No, you did not.
And Muffy is like, they all died. And Celeste is like, well, I don't. And Muffy is just like, I can't, like, I'm not having this conversation anymore. Like, we're done here. And Celeste is like, but what about my fig? Like, I love it so much. And Muffy's like, well, I love figs too. And I bought the fig. Right this way, gentlemen. And she shows the construction workers where to put them.
Oh my God, that's so fucking evil. I love it.
At this point, Celeste freaks out. She's like in front of the forklift. She has to be restrained by the hot boyfriend. Jane is like, this is the most interesting thing to happen to this neighborhood in years.
Uh-huh. Oh my God. To steal another woman's fig. To steal? And maybe this was the expression on gender all along, you know?
Wow, that really makes you think.
Makes you think. Wow.
After this whole event, the next day, the hot boyfriend like sets up a giant tent in the backyard. And Jane is like, this is terrible. Like, now I can't see the hot boyfriend anymore. I have no idea what's going on over there, right? Like, he's inside the tent.
Oh, no.
And then there's like a week where nothing happens. Mm-hmm. And this is where Jane realizes she has like a big problem, because the big fight, this like huge blow up fight, happened very conveniently in her front yard at full volume.
Sure.
But also she hears people in the neighborhood talking about like Instagram posts, next door posts. And Jane doesn't know how to get to those things.
Oh, because she's no lady.
What do you think she should do here?
Call her son.
She really wants to know what's going on.
It feels like Jane is ready to graduate to that part of her life where she is on various social media platforms all day, every day. So now's the time to invest, I think.
Jane is like, this is petty drama. You know who loves petty drama? Teens. So she's like, I'll invite my teenage granddaughter over to spend the weekend. I'll get her takeout food, and then I'll tell her this whole saga. And then she'll probably help me find out what's going on online.
Oh, delicious. I love it. Lovely bonding.
This works perfectly. The teen comes over. She eats her takeout. She's like, well, what's happening now? And Jane's like, I don't know. It's all online and I can't see it. Mm-hmm. The teen within like minutes has all of this stuff pulled up, right? Like she has like the Instagrams up. She has posts up. She begins to show Jane specific posts about this. The first post she shows is from the artist who made the fig. His widow has posted a photo of the fig with a caption that's like, this fig is by my like late husband, and the location of the piece as the private collection of Celeste last name.
Motherfucking hell. Wow. I really thought that that like the story was just going to end on Muffy bought the figs, but there's a whole other thing going on now.
There's more, baby.
It's wheels within wheels.
Celeste is posting like an endless amount of like photos of her fig, posts about how sad she is about her fig, posts about how Muffy like stole her fig.
Oh my God, she spent like a year and a half not having that fig. And she was also given a deadline to buy the fig.
I know.
Like, hawk one of your bangles and just buy, just buy the fig back.
The granddaughter is like, we don't need to look at this page because it's just like Muffy's boyfriend posting thirst traps. And Jane's like, what's a thirst trap? And then her granddaughter shows her one of the posts and she's like, oh, I know. I understand. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I love this. Thank you. I love it.
Muffy's posts are mostly about her hot boyfriend. But there is also a picture that's like a flyer for what is titled her herb garden relaunch party.
Oh my God.
And it has like a date and a time, and it has a picture of the fig on it.
These people are fucked. These people are fucked. These are people, like, it's just like women in their 40s who are just trading fig and herb drama.
This is what happens when you have too much money, right? Like, it's like none of these problems are real.
Like, herbs are so easy to buy at the supermarket. Like, even I think Muffy's gone too far on this one. Like, before I was like Team Muffy, Boo, Celeste, and now I just think both these ladies are tapped in the head.
Jane's granddaughter is like, we have to go to the party. We're going to the herb garden relaunch party. And Jane's like, well, we weren't invited. And the teen granddaughter is like, but it's posted on Instagram publicly. Like, we can go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's true? Do you think they can go?
I'm a little confused / concerned why Jane isn't being... why isn't Jane being kept abreast offline? Because it seemed like she was pretty tight with Muffy for a time there. Like, enough so that she wanted to replace Celeste entirely. So, like, it seems like she's fallen out of contact with both of these women and her wider neighborhood. So I'm like, is Jane catching some flack that she doesn't even know she's catching?
Jane is like, I'm old-fashioned. We're not showing up at this woman's house without being invited to the party.
Sure.
She's like, but I will call Muffy and ask her. And the granddaughter's like, great. So Jane calls Muffy and she's like, Muffy, what's up with this giant tent in your backyard? Because there is a huge tent there. And Muffy's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you. That's crazy. Like, where have you been? And Jane's like, I've been at my house. Like, I'm always at my house. And Muffy's like, oh, okay, well, so sorry I haven't seen you, but I'm having this huge herb garden party. I'm relaunching my herb garden tomorrow. If you want to swing by, I would love to have you. And Jane's like, great. I'm going to the relaunch of an herb garden. There was a time when it used to be shocking to be invited to a dog's birthday party, and this is so, like, several rungs below that. They go over there. The party is, like, beautiful. The tent has been removed from the backyard, and now Jane can see that, like, a huge transformation has taken place. Like, the new herb garden has been planted. It's, like, twice as big. It has little, like, handmade signs. Muffy has made herby cocktails. There's, like, little appetizers.
Okay.
It's, like, very lovely little party. And also, there is now art everywhere. Like, not only are the figs there and, like, lit from below with little spotlights, there's also, like, a ton of other garden-themed art. There's, like, a giant rosemary sprig and, like, a concrete trowel sculpture and, like, all this shit.
Yes. Okay. So not only has she bought these figs out from under her former best friend who did not tend her herb garden correctly or even at all.
Yes.
She has caught flack from the artist's widow, and now she is trying to establish an art collecting brand in order to sort of like legitimize the fact that she's stolen another woman's figs.
Bingo. All correct.
Oh my fucking God.
Jane is like, let's go stand next to Muffy, like to her granddaughter. So they're like talking to Muffy, and Muffy is like talking about all of this art with the air of someone who has like bought art for decades, right? Like she's like, oh, I know all about art. Like I love buying these things. It's like very much one of those things where she's like talking about like the finances of buying art more than the actual art. She's talking about like dealers and acquisitions and purchase prices and like
Jesus
all
Christ.
of this stuff.
All right. Okay.
And Jane is just like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. At this point, Celeste shows up. She is dressed beautifully, overdressed, one might say.
Okay.
And she goes up directly to Muffy and she's like, how much did you pay for the fig? I will buy it off of you.
Oh my God. What?
And Muffy is like, this is a party. And no, I don't want to sell them.
Yeah.
And Celeste is like, what do you want for them? Do you want $50,000?
$50,000.
$50,000.
$50,000. What? Isn't that like a nurse's income? Like, that's not.
Yes. It's like more than a teacher makes.
These fucking hideous, disgusting things. They look like balls.
Muffy is like, no. Like, I like the figs. I paid for them. I had this whole like reinforced concrete platform built so that they could sit on it. Like, I'm not selling them.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Guess who else is here at this party? It's Celeste's ex-husband.
And his much younger wife, who likes an even temperature, yes.
He comes over and he's like, Celeste, stop it. I gave you 2 weeks and you didn't buy them.
Yeah.
Like, you had the first option. I don't know what you're doing here. And Celeste freaks out. She's like, you stole my fig. You stole everything.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And Charles, like, kind of sighs and is like, I don't understand where this is coming from. Like, I'm the one who bought the figs. You never even liked this sculpture.
Excuse me? What? They were Charles's figs? Charles's precious figs?
Mm-hmm. We're almost at the end. What do you think? How are you feeling?
I feel sick. I feel sick. The amount of money and waste in this story is sick. And it's like, does Celeste even know who she is? Like, she's just, it's like she had this husband and she was never the right temperature. And he loved the figs. And then she became fixated. She's like, what's like over a year, she's been just like banging on about these figs and how much she loves them and how it is her one desire to get them back. And she didn't even like them that much.
Yes. Muffy and Jane and Jane's granddaughter are all like, what?
What?
Like, this woman has been going on and on and on about these fucking figs for a year.
Yeah.
Celeste's ex-husband is like, it was only like after we got divorced that she started to care about it.
Right. Oh, God.
And Celeste is like, this isn't true. Like, they're going back and forth. They are now having this fight publicly, which means that this is the point where we find out that it was not about the house temperature.
Okay. What was it about, Kelsey?
Thank you for asking. It is about the fact that Charles made a series of very, very bad investments. He put most of their money into an eco dance resort. And he also put a lot of money into some kind of omnidirectional treadmill for VR video games.
Okay.
Both of these things sound stupid because they are. And so neither of them took off. And so the thing is, these people were no longer rich. They were house poor. So like when she asked for a divorce, she used her settlement money to buy this new house in the neighborhood, expecting there would be more money down the road. And then there was like no more money. So it's not that she ever wanted the fig. The fig was like a pawn. It's like a pettiness prop. Like she wants it because she wants to sell it, to have money, to hurt Charles.
Oh, shit. It was never about the figs. Holy crap. Wait. So then how was Celeste trying to give $50,000 to Muffy when she doesn't have that kind of money?
Bingo. What she was trying to do is figure out how much Muffy paid for it so that she could then get half that money from Charles. So at this point, she turns to Muffy and she's like, just tell me how much you paid for it. Like, did you pay 50? Did you pay 75? Did you pay $100,000? Like, what did you pay for this fig?
Holy fuck.
Muffy's like, oh no, I paid $10,000.
Wow, a real steal of these figs.
Celeste loses her mind because she's like, he gave it to Muffy for cheap to get rid of it.
Oh, wow. What a tale. Fuck me. That's so good.
We're at the very end. How do you feel? Whose side are you on?
I honestly just feel like an incredible magic trick has been like pulled on me, and that like I was looking in the wrong place the whole time, and like I thought this was just a story of like just two rich bitches who like had nothing else to do, who were like being petty and funny. But like there's so much more. Is Charles is broke? He's flat broke, and so is Celeste, and they're trying to maintain this weird fucking. It's very Desperate Housewives. It's very like turn of the century Desperate Housewives. Like,
It's also like Victorian, the loss of a family fortune, right? Like,
yes, and the idea of the one sapphire in the family, kind of, it's so crazy. And they got the artist's widow involved.
I know.
That poor woman is grieving.
Leave her out of it.
Fuck. This is huge.
Whose side are you on? Who do you like still?
I love Jane still. All these other people,
yeah.
I don't know. I think Jane should sort of have some kind of a torrid affair with the hot boyfriend, because I don't like the idea of him being caught up in this. I think he's too pure.
Do you want the final updates I have?
Yes.
Like, very final.
Yes.
The very final updates I have for you are that after all of this like bickering, Jane realized that she was like kind of in no man's land between two sides of a war, right? Between Celeste and Muffy. And she kind of realized when this happened, she was like, oh, maybe I didn't really ever like Muffy. Maybe I just liked her hot boyfriend, right? Like maybe I didn't even really want to be her friend either. Maybe they deserve each other. And so she's like, you know what? It's time for me to move. And so Jane sold her house for a huge profit and she moved. And she never had to think about any of these people ever again.
And now Jane is rich.
And now Jane is kind of rich.
And she can buy all the figs she likes. What a story. So she's just like, I've had it with these hoes. Bye. Like, fuck. Yeah.
She's like, that's enough. Goodbye to the hot boyfriend.
God, and those women are just still out there somewhere scheming. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I do think there are people in this world who like, they can't live unless there's a scheme going, you know? They're like, they're like running some kind of private con within their whole life, but to them it's not even a con. It's just some kind of weird form of contorted justice. They just think they just deserve this thing. Yes. It's so fucked up. The schemes.
Caroline, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a delight to have you.
I'm so honored. I really think this is up there. Like if there was like a normal gossip, like a MoMA for normal gossip, like a
power rankings.
Yeah, the Noga or whatever. If there was like a museum, there would be that chair with the vagina print on it, the bird lamp, and this fig. And I feel so proud to be part of it. Wow.
Thank you for listening to Normal Gossip. If you have a gossip story to share with us, email us at normalgossip@defector.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 2679-GOSSIP. If you love this podcast and want to support us, become a friend or a friend of a friend at supportnormalgossip.com. You can follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Normal Gossip. You can follow Kelsey on all social media at McKinney-Kelsey. This podcast was produced by Alex Sujan Laughlin, Ozzy Linus Goodman, and Jay Toll Vieira. Justin Ellis is Defector's project editor. Jasper Wang and Sean Kuhn are Defector's business guys. Alex Sujan Laughlin is Defector's supervising producer. Tom Lay is our editor-in-chief. Abigail Siegel is our intern. Dan McQuaid runs our merch store, which you can find at normalgossip.store. Tara Jacoby designed our show art. And thank you to Rachel Hampton, Brandon Jensen, Sabrina Imbler, Dave McKenna, Chris Thompson, Heather Chen, Ray Rotto, David Roth, Catherine Shu, Jasper Wang, Israel Daramola, and Patrick Redford for your help on this season. Thank you to the rest of the Defector staff. Defector Media is a collectively owned, subscriber-based media company. Normal Gossip is a proud member of Radiotopia. Normal Gossip is hosted by Kelsey McKinney. I'm Carrie, and remember, you did not hear this from me.
Radiotopia.